Hi, welcome. Today I'm going to show you guys how I wired all my LED lights for my Jeep JL Wrangler. And that includes my headlights, auxiliary lights, the daytime running lights. And let's come on to the back. You also see my additional backup lights. The LED highlights is much brighter than the stock halogen light. For the JL, you would actually just need an adapter to change the 7-inch to retrofit it into the 9-inch slot in here. Let's pop the hood. And the way that it's wired is really easy. A lot of the aftermarket kit is really just plug and play. And it is really easy to upgrade to the LED headlights. First, you would just need to pop out the grill here, and it's basically held in place with these plastic inserts. I think there are a total of 8 of them. Just pop these out and then pull the grill outward to remove the grill. And the instructions come with those LED lights are really good. It will show you step by step how to remove the grills and how to put the LED lights into the bracket to fit in the JL, as well as how to wire those, because they're just literally plug and play, which is really nice. And one drawback with the LED lights is it doesn't generate a lot of heat. So in the winter time, here would collect and accumulate a lot of snow, and the light is not hot enough to melt the snows. So I'll show you guys a picture of how that looks like last winter. And obviously there are heated LED lights, but that cost a lot more. But for my purpose, it's perfectly fine. I don't got a lot of snows in here. If my visibility got terrible, I can just stop and clean the snow. One thing that you have to do actually is really this wire for the daytime running lights. As you guys can see, I have the other end to the daytime running lights, and that wire goes all the way back. Follow the wire here that goes back to my fuse box. I basically add a fuse tap to provide the power as constant hot to this wire, and that goes to this slot. I think it's 97, and that's basically for the heated lighting seat. I mean, you can literally put it into any other fuse as long as it turns on when the engine is on. And you can find these fuse tabs very easy on Amazon or eBay. Make sure all the fuses are properly seated in. A lot of owners are having issues with their tabs not fully seated, and their dash would light up as a Christmas tree. And just want to show you guys how the daytime running light works. Come in here, turn on the power. As soon as the power is on, it would provide power to your daytime running lights. And this bundle of wires is really helpful. This is for the auxiliary switches that I put it in. I didn't order from the manufacturer, which is a big mistake. I wish I would have it. That's the tow package. Give you a beefier alternator, give you 4 auxiliary switches, as well as the 7-pin wire for the tows. It's a great deal. So I have this basically wired into this auxiliary switch 1. You will see this wire goes out to my auxiliary lights, or these 2 lights right here. And that one goes to the positive, the other one goes to the ground, which is fully grounded in here. And let me tell you guys, it's no fun to add in those additional switches afterward. I had to remove the fenders. I have to run the wires from the wheel wells all the way to the cabin, and to add in open the door to add in these switches right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really nice to have, but it's a lot of work to add it afterward. And moving to the back, there's a couple things that I've done. Mentioned the LED tail lights, the additional backup lights that you can see here. I have 2 of them, and I also adding the 2-inch hitch receiver. Take this out, and also the 4-pin wire harness for my hitch. Okay, so I'll start with the 2-inch hitch receiver. Unfortunately, my Jeep doesn't come with the tow package, which would include a hitch receiver, a 7-pin towing wire, 4 auxiliary switches, and a beefier alternator. But luckily, the hitch receiver is quite easy to add. It's the same as JK's, direct bolt on. I'm not planning to tow anything heavy, so it's great for my use. And let me show you how it's bolted on. So let me get under the Jeep, and you see these bolts right here. Try to get a focus of the bolt. So you see that bolts right here. It's basically just 4 of these, and directly bolted on to the hose that's already in there. So it's very easy. You just need 2 wrenches to fit it in there. And as you can see, there's plenty of room available to have your tools in there. So it's basically a 10-15 minutes job. And I also added in the 4-pin wire harness. This one would be helpful if I want to tow a small trailer. That would give me the turn signals, the brake lights, as well as the backup lights. And the wiring of this is relatively easy. It's plug and play kit. But one thing you do have to do is you have to source the wire from the battery. So what I did is basically running the wire from the frames. Let me try to show a better picture. You would see the wires come down here, coming down to my wire harness over there. And this one I sourced it from the battery and just running the wire along the frames. And this yellow wire right here, it connects to the battery, the positive of the battery. It has the inline fuse in here, so make sure nothing would mess up your electrical system. So this yellow wire connect to this extension black wires, and that goes along to from the passenger side to the driver side. You see these wires coming from here, and then let's see, it drops down. It drops down, and I'm using a zip tie to tie it together. I'm trying to get focus in here, and it actually drops into the frames right there. And one good thing with the JL is on the frame. Let me see if we can find this wire. Right there's the wire coming down, and there's a lot of those access holes in the frame rail. So it would running the wire inside the frames and would follow these frames from the front all the way to the back. And that's where I would run the wires. So they are kind of inside this frame rail and it's being protected. So I'm not worrying about anything with the wires. It's not rubbing on anything. Love these LED tail lights. They are great purchases. I like the OEM style. Love the shape when it lights up. It resembles the outline of the Jeep. They are very easy to install, reasonably priced. The only downside is the backup light that built into it is pretty terrible. I feel it's worse than my stock halogen lights, but that's easy to fix. You know, I just added in these additional LED backup lights. They are so cheap and easy to run the wires. You know, just hotwire them into the power and tap into the reverse. these backup lights are very easy to run the wires. The hot wire basically tap into the reverse, and then the negative goes to the ground. So if you are considering to add the additional backup lights, upgrade to the LED tail lights, as well as adding these 4-pin wiring harnesses, I would highly recommend you to do everything all together at once. So it's so much easier to run all the wires. And I'll show you guys how to get it started. So it is very easy to remove the tail light. All you need is just a flathead screwdriver, as well as this 2-pack coming with the Jeep. So you would remove this little plastic cover with the flathead screwdriver, and inside this 2-pack you have this I think this is T40. Yep, T40, and then this little wrench on there. And let's get started. So you can take out this plastic bolt. After you remove that white plastic bolt, the headlight should come loose. Okay, and I'll show you how everything is wired inside. Okay, as mentioned before, I add in the tow wire. So the tow wire is this T connector. You know, one side goes to the stock wiring, the other side goes to the tail light, and there's also additional wire and the control model. And the additional wire, this is that 4-pin wire, goes down to the hitch. Okay, it's very easy, plug and play. And one thing I did mention is I use this T connector to wire into my additional backup lights. So this is a great option for any of you guys that may have warranty concerns. You don't want to splice into any of the manufacturing wires, so you can just splice that additional backup light into this T connector, which that would provide a power source for the additional backup lights. And I also add in the ground nut in here. As you can see, one ground is for the wiring harness for the 4-pin wires, and the other ground is for my backup lights. And that's why it's so easy to do everything all together at once, you know, with the additional backup lights, the LED tail lights, as well as the wiring harnesses. And guys, once you have this the tail light out, if you don't have the fuel cover, you know, the fuel door covers, you know, it's a great time to add this one in at the same time, because you would actually see it in here. So it does require you to take out the tail light to add this fuel door. So that's another upgrade that I would highly recommend to do all together at once. And this fuel door is another item that I wouldn't purchase from Mopar. Obviously the Mopar one would say Jeep on here, but you know, there's a lot of generic ones out there. It's a lot cheaper. I think this one cost me 80 bucks. You can find a cheaper one for like 30 or 40 bucks. And also one thing to point out is for these LED tail light upgrade, it doesn't come with this additional plastic holder with the new light. So you would actually need to take this out and recycle this or reuse this for your new LED lights. So don't break it or throw it away. It's literally just hold in place with 4 or maybe 3 screws in here. So you would transfer this back piece into the new tail light, and that's how you mount it. And only have this one plastic hole to secure the bolt. Okay, let's put everything back together. And when you put this back in there, make sure you guys don't over tie the plastic bolt. It's all plastic. You don't want this to broke inside and you can't get it out. And after the LED upgrade, you would want to tell the computer that you've changed to LED from the halogen bulbs, because the LED draws much less power, so computer might think you have blowout bulbs, so give a error code. So I'm using the Flashcal Superchips for the JL. This is a great tool to have. You can change the tire size, decode check engine lights, enable auxiliary switches, communicate to BCM after you re-gear or you change to the LEDs. There's so much that you can do with it, and I'm planning to make another video for a walkthrough of all the features. Well, there's all my LED upgrades. You would notice that my turn signal, the fender lights, don't have that signature LED look for JL Wranglers, but I've already ordered my Rubicon high top fender flares with LED lights, and I will put them on for my next video. So please stay tuned and comment below if you would like me to make a video on any other things that you see on my Jeep. Okay guys, it's dark outside and I just want to show you how my backup light looks like. This is the LED backup light coming from my tail light, and as you can see, it really doesn't give much of the output. And here is my additional backup light. I just covered it with a cardboard, and now let me remove this, and you see it's completely all light up, so you can see everything from behind. That makes a huge difference. And let me go outside to take a look. It's a big difference. Okay, I hope you guys like this video. If you find it helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.